Good morning. We are here at the farm of Marvin Weber Hesson Holsteins. Marvin's been using the Boviglo liquid supplement additive for somewhere around 2 or 3 years now and has had some phenomenal success with it. One of the things I do want to say right up front is we're going to talk a little bit about Boviglo, a lot about nutrition, and our vet will be here in a minute to talk about the reproductive aspects of what Marvin's been able to achieve by using Boviglo on top of all his good management skills. Marvin, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you've experienced over the past several years and your thoughts for a few minutes?
I've been using it for 3 years, and as soon as I quit, I get problems. I used it for 3 years, and it gets used as a everyday thing. Calves get it, cows get it, and I feel the health of the cows are way better using it versus not.
So what kind of production do you see on an ongoing basis right now?
I'd say we're looking at probably 2 kilos per cow per day.
Extra?
Extra on top.
Of if you weren't using it?
Yep.
All right, and your overall production, do you mind sharing with us some of your production numbers off your records?
I think we're sitting at about a 38 kilo average right at the moment.
And butter fat?
Is at 3.8.
I'm Kevin Semple of Nieuwland Feed, sales manager, nutrition support, and nutritionist for Nieuwland Feed. I've been working with Marvin Weber for probably 10 years now. Been working with Boviglo on this farm for the past 3 years. What Boviglo seems to help out is it does add a nice B vitamin complex. Healthy cows don't seem to need any extra B vitamins, but every dairy cow today seems to have some stressors on it, in them, and high production, calving, breeding, whatever, heat stress. So by adding this product, we just enhance the rumen health and productivity and profitability on this farm. Since using this product, we seem to have healthier cows, better reproduction. No, I do not sell this product. I do not sell this product because I believe that it would skew my thought process in using the product, and there are farms that will not need this product, but I believe most of them do. So yes, I think most of the farms could benefit from using this product. I also see the product not just used in the lactation cows, but a very good addition to the baby calves. We do help get that gut stimulated a little better with the baby calf with using this product in the milk. I have some other farms that have used it in times where they're going through some stresses of diarrhea or scours and just a little bit of health issues, and it has seemed to work well at that point in time. We do have beef cattle as well on this Boviglo product, which I have seen enhanced growth rates, better cutability, definitely better yield, and the meat processors do seem to like the product that they're receiving. I do use this product on the beef industry as well. I have a customer that's using it in the beef and some sows. It enhances, they're both in stressful situations in time throughout. Bringing those calves in, receiving the calves and putting them on the Boviglo has been a very positive thing. We see less illness with next to zero needling, and we get gains on the product right off the bat, where sometimes when you bring calves in, receive calves, they don't grow for that first week or two, and that costs money. The other thing that I like it when we're finishing them. We use a little higher rate again when finishing them. We're putting more grain to them to get better yield on the meat and on the animal, and that creates stress on the rumen as well and the bug population, and the B vitamins help complement that to do a better job So that's why I use it. There are so many variations that this product can add value to the farm that it is hard to really put a cost benefit on it. I do not subtract any vitamins, minerals, anything else from the diet when we're adding this in. I also have another B complex pack that I am putting on this farm as well. So we are adding on top, but we are getting great results. And with some of my other B vitamin packs that are out there, it is traceable to find improved pregnancy rate, improved conception rate, which improves your pregnancy rate, and improved milk protein. So to start and put numbers together, you have to be an accountant, and I'm not going to do that. That's, I guess to me, it's got to be a feel-good situation. If you feel good, the cows look good, and we're getting results, we're using it. No, I am getting absolutely no pay for doing this. I just don't. Why are you doing this? I guess why am I doing this? I'm doing this to support a product, a small company, and a product that I do believe in. I do believe science is king, and there's not as much science behind this product as some of the other products we utilize in our feed industry. So that's one reason I am not accepting any money for utilizing this product. But on the other hand, we have to do some things sometimes without science, and when we get proven results, that's what pays the bills, so that's why we're using it.
I'm Steve Crawford. I'm the herd vet. I'm a part owner of the Newry Veterinary Service Clinic out of Newry, Ontario, and I've been doing Marvin's work for a little over a year now. General first impressions from the product are when I talk to Marvin about his trust in the product, he has a high amount of trust in it. What I see on farm, he uses it in his daily TMR, but he also uses it as a top dress on his fresh cows and also in his baby calves. To comment on the health or the efficiency of how he uses it in his cattle, I believe it's a big help for him in his intakes and also in his vitamin and mineral status on those transition cows. It helps drive his intakes. Whenever we test for subclinical ketosis here, Marvin seems to do quite well. The cows do well. He has very little ketosis issues. It's quite clear that cows come through the dry period and into the lactation with appetites, good condition, and that also then leads to very few health issues. We've treated a few cases of pneumonia. We've had one LDA surgery, so both well under any benchmarks we'd see on a herd size like this. Cows come into their cycle, they clean, they start milking and producing milk quite quickly after milking. When we do our fresh checks, I'm very happy with how they have come through the calving period and the transition period. And enough of that I would attribute to Boviglo, mainly increasing their intakes and always having that vitamin and enough vitamins and minerals in that background that they can then it's another block that they don't have to worry about having, that's supported with them or given to them, that we don't have to worry about giving to them, especially with all these cows that are being stressed as fresh cows. Marvin's well above average. Not is he only above average, he is well above average when it comes to a 2X or twice a day milking in a tie stall facility like this, and the liters or the standard milk that Marvin kicks out the door is very impressive. It has been, and it's not just a 1 month spike. He has hit high production and an average well over 40 kilograms, and he's maintained that without any issues over the last 6, 8, 10 months almost now. So his payback on the product is definitely there with that, plus some. So Marvin currently is sitting at and has been for the last few months in the high 20s or almost 29% pregnancy rate. So that's a general term that we use in the industry. That's an all-encompassing term to get a measure on how well Marvin does heat detection and also how well he breeds, or how well his conception rate. So it's one number that gives us a large look at pretty much his reproductive efficiency on the herd. Any herd in 20s, the Ontario average is 15 or 16%. Any herd that's above 20, generally that would be the goal that we would always achieve, whether it's a tie stall or a free stall herd. Most tie stall herds have a lot of trouble getting above 25, and the extra labor costs and investments that are needed to get above 25 are generally not worth it. So for Marvin to be at milking in a tie stall herd with its disadvantages reproductively, to be sitting at a 29% preg rate is almost, it's not just impressive, it's phenomenal. It's by far the highest preg rate we have in our out of our tie stall herds, and we tend to we deal with our average tie stall herd rate. Preg rate is still at 22%, but Marvin is 5% higher than any other herd that we're dealing with right now. I think the biggest thing for Marvin right now is his conception rate. His conception rate drives a lot of his numbers. He's over 50% on his conception rate currently. So that tells me that the breeder is doing his job, but mainly those cows are ovulating, they're coming into fertile heats, they're ovulating fertile follicles, and not only are they coming into fertile heats, they're also they are healthy enough reproductively, metabolically, that they maintain these pregnancies, which is a huge risk, especially when we tie back to the amount of the production level that this herd is at. It would be expected that these cows would lose some of their pregnancies or be a little bit trickier, harder to get in calf because of the amount of energy that comes in and has to go out in the form of milk, that they wouldn't be using it for reproduction. But to see Marvin at the liters that he's producing, or his cows are producing, and the reproductive efficiency that he's doing is phenomenal. It really is. I think when you speak about chemistry and natural products, we've gotten too far away from chemistry being, if this is let's say a mineral or a vitamin, and it's produced or synthesized and it's created and it can be measured at so much of a diet, then we all assume that if it's in the diet as measured by a laboratory technique, then that's what the cow is getting. And I think there's a lot more knowledge coming out now that just because something is, let's say, in the ration or in the diet, or it can be detected through a laboratory technique, doesn't mean that's available for the cow. There's a big difference between minerals or vitamins that are bioavailable to a cow and what we can see on paper in a ration. And I think what we're getting to now is a point where not only are these nutrients in the ration or being top dressed, they're also very available to the cow. Nutrients are useless if they're on the paper and unavailable to the cow. And I feel like we're going a bit more that way, just as a general industry. But on the farm here, where there's a very big push that nutrients that are on the paper are available to the cow. So with going that way, when you're using more organic natural products, generally they are much more higher bioavailability, so you can be assured that what you're feeding to the cow is actually getting used by the cow. And it's not just a rounding error on a piece of paper that leaves you questioning how much is actually getting absorbed. So I would say in that sense that much of what Marvin is using with the Boviglo directly gets absorbed by that cow very quickly and gets utilized right away, as opposed to being excreted out the back end.
Steve, when you were chatting about bioavailability and what's on a label and lab tests versus what the cow can actually use, one of the things that's probably a downfall for us as the marketers of the Boviglo product is our guaranteed analysis shows vitamins and minerals, and yet the very first ingredient is Lactobacillus acidophilus in a fermented dormant state. So just because of the labeling regulations, we don't even, I guess, label it that much. And then the second ingredient, of course, is the barley extracts and the enzymes. Those two specific ingredients themselves, I think Kevin covered a little bit in what he was talking about and how they're actually used. So I just wanted to kind of make sure that we did cover that's really the first two ingredients.
So how do you then isolate those bacteria, like the lactobacillus? Are they harvested and then dried, or are they grown in colonies and then? So
that's an interesting question. So the product itself is in a dormant fermented state. So its official term is it's an abiotic. So I don't know how much science or whatever you have. I've only been taught that since I've been involved with this company. Most people just see the Lactobacillus acidophilus as a probiotic, but you cannot, if you put it on a dish to try and grow it, it will not grow. Okay. But what it does is it enhances the natural Lactobacillus that's already in the rumen, and then it also helps to, I guess, decolonize bacteria, viruses, pollens, toxins that are going through that rumen and through that gut. And it doesn't kill anything. It just puts more good bacteria.
Creates a bit of a buffer that way in the rumen.
Yeah, and lets the cow's own immune system kick in and do.
And their own microflora self-regulate that way. But
simply enhancing that gut and putting more good stuff in than the bad stuff. So as we've been discussing over the last little bit here, the various aspects of using Boviglo over the past several years, probably the biggest question that I get, and maybe you do when you talk to your neighbors, is, do you really make any money? Is there really a return on investment? Do you want to start with a comment on that, Marvin?
Feed intake goes up. When the feed intake goes up, there's more milk in the cows. And health-wise is better too. Keep a cow healthier.
Kevin, do you have some comments to chime in here?
So every kilo of dry matter intake we get 2.5 kilos of milk. And with Marvin's statement there of the feed intake goes up, that does drive milk production. It drives to be healthier cows. The higher the intake we can get, the less grain I need to feed, the higher forage ration I can feed, which goes towards being a healthier cow. So yeah, is there measurable financial benefit? I don't think we have that to date on paper here at this farm, but after using it for a few years and introducing Steve to the farm, we've improved our reproduction significantly, and our intake has carried as well. So we are getting quite a bit more production out of this herd than we did 5 years ago. And like any product, I don't think we can start and stop it within a 3-month period and see the long-term goal. I think we have to, if we believe in the product, we have to believe in the product. If Marvin's using it, it'll help benefit the rumen for a long period of time, which will help the cow benefit, which once she goes through a lactation, we get better results. Steve, what do you think on the repro side?
Well, I would say, and I spoke to this earlier, the reproductive benefits here are quite clear. Your conception rate is very, very, very high. Your cows go through great heats. On the overall health of the herd here, anything that we can do to prevent, or we can start a cow off on the right foot so we don't have to intervene, means that lactation, whether it's direct impacts or down the road, you have that much more of a benefit if the cow can get going. She can calve in, start milking, get onto her feed, and produce not only a long and productive lactation, but also have the nutrients and the immune status to be able to get back in calf and not fall to the side with any of those other diseases. So I think it's part of those important building blocks of creating an environment for the cow, whether it's in her rumen, in the barn here, that we give her the best start she can. And I think that's very noticeable. There's very few treatments that go on here. We do preventative medicine, and the cows mainly take over from there, and away we go.